Hey, aloha mai kako. So I was asked to speak about how we know this all works, which I think from most of the panel already we know it does work. But I just pulled up a couple of slides that we've actually been using in some of our other presentations in the last few weeks. We just finished up our Sustainability Summit here at UH Manoa, and that was followed directly by our Sensor Regional Symposium. And for those of you who don't know, Sensor stands for Science Education for a New Civic Engagement and Responsibility. As I believe Ty mentioned the other day in our opening, and a few others as well, we've been asked to become a possibility of us here in Hawaii becoming a model state for Sensor in the national scheme, which is a really big deal. We'll be the first state if it does go through. And I think that in and of itself speaks to the level of successes that we've had in our civic engagement to be considered as a national leader in these efforts to set a national standard with the programs and the initiatives that we've been doing. So a few of those, I have our Mālama Nā Ahupua'a Program up here. Just because by and far it is our largest program, I've been fortunate enough to be a student in the program, a student leader in the program, and now as an assistant coordinator for the program with Dr. Hassinger. And I think it speaks very well. It's our largest program. It's one of the ones that encompasses a lot of our different issues that we deal with. MENA in and of itself, we tie directly into the traditional knowledge, to the Hawaiian systems, and to the iki of our kupuna. The Ahupua'a, the reason it works so well, just everything about Native Hawaiians and everything about our culture, Native Hawaiian culture in and of itself is natural science. It's science in and of itself. It's just inherently everything that Sensor wants to see, and one of the reasons that Sensor really values us here in Hawaii and the efforts that we do as being a national model for sustainability and for science education, and tying that indigenous knowledge into different places and the way our systems naturally worked, and just the way our culture directly ties into that. So the reason our MENA program and some of these things dive directly in, just to show an example. This is actually Kualoa Ahupua'a on the northeast side of this island. So just looking at the model and the way of the different things, how it can tie directly in, and how our different efforts in the program. We do the entire Ahupua'a system. We have what we call our cores, which is a three-tiered effect where we have an upland, a midland, and a lowland activity, so that students get to experience all the different levels of the Ahupua'a system. They get to learn all the different nuances, as Ile was sharing earlier about the fish ponds and everything else. It's just so much, it's a wealth of knowledge and ike that we can tap in from our kupuna. So it plays in really well, it fits with the model. I myself, as Dr. Hassinger mentioned, have been doing an assessment of service learning in the College of Social Sciences. I'm sorry, this is kind of small for a faraway reading, but I do have a poster in the back. So it's a survey I've been conducting over the last few semesters. Actually started last spring and through last summer and this past fall and finishing up this spring. But just some of the readouts that come out of it. One of the major things is, this up here is the level of student participation. It's really wide range. We have everything from freshmen to grad students, so it's a kind of a good mix. This one here is how many times they participated. Most of them are first timers. We have a lot of repeats, but for the survey of itself was repetitive of students. But when we look at how it impacted them and what they say and how they feel they contributed to the community, it's 98%. I mean, really high. Our students, this is how the students feel about their work. And then asked if how they valued or if they felt they were of value to the community. It's the same number, it's 98%. So how it applies to their coursework and how it applies to the community, they answered on the same level. So I think that really speaks to the effectiveness of the programs and the way that these initiatives have been working, and to the reasoning behind I think a big part of the reasoning why we're being considered as a Sensor model state for some of the programs we've been running. And the students themselves are speaking to this, and I think it shows a great part of the efforts and what we've been able to do and establish, and Dr. Hassinger and the great late Marion Kelly have been able to establish in our Department of Ethnic Studies and the College of Social Sciences, and as we see it continue on into the future, and looking forward to being a part of that myself. Thank you.